Hello, Virgo, and welcome to my channel, Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs, looking at your recent past, your current energy, and your immediate future, answering the question, what do you need to know right now in order to move forward in alignment with your higher self? The purpose of these readings is to bring through my experience as a spiritual coach to help you create the life of your dreams. So looking at what it is that you need to know to shift your inner world in order to create your outer world. If that doesn't sound like it's for you, then this very well might not be your reading. As always, I've gone ahead and pulled the overall energy for the reading and clarified those messages as well. I have the tarot deck that I'll be jumping into already shuffled, as well as the decks that I'll be using in the extended. Any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading with me is in the description box below. Last thing, please remember these are general readings. They are not here to resonate fully for everyone. So do remember to take what resonates and helps your personal situation and leave what does not. Take what helps, leave what doesn't. All right, Virgo, in your recent past, you have don't let your past hold you back with the Moon card. Your recent past was kind of being stuck in an illusion and looking at your life through the lens of possibly fear, worst case scenarios, doubt. And of course, we're naturally going to do that, right? 95% of our movements, choices, and decisions stem from our subconscious. Only 5% of the way that we interact with our reality is conscious. And sometimes we don't realize how much of that 95% of us that's controlling our reality is coming from a place of limiting beliefs. So those limiting beliefs that we have and we have internalized have been because of our experiences, right? We've experienced situations that then cause us to internalize those experiences as truth. So if we've experienced painful situations, we've internalized that, life is always going to be painful. And, there's so many different examples I could throw out. But with don't let your past hold you back in the Moon, it really does feel like this situation that you were dealing with was bringing a lot of those fears, doubts, insecurities to the surface so that you could address them. Now, I feel like you're still kind of dealing with that because then in your current energy, you have your commitment is being tested with the Nine of Swords. I don't like that word tested because I feel like it indicates that if you don't pass the test or whatever, that you're not going to ever get to where you're trying to go. When we are on the path to what it is we want to create in this world, whether it be the relationship of our dreams or the financial situation of our dreams or a career path of our dreams or whatever the case is, we're going to be met with a lot of resistance. And that resistance is going to be our limiting beliefs manifesting into reality and us having to face those limiting beliefs in real life situations and choose not to believe those limiting beliefs, but to lean on faith as well. And so that is a way that the universe helps us align with what it is that we want to create. It's not really a test, it's more of an opportunity. But I do feel like that's kind of what's coming through with this. Your commitment is being tested, is I do feel like you're facing a lot of these situations that are making you feel very anxious and afraid and worried and doubtful of whatever it is that you want to create in your life and whether or not you're going to be okay or that you're going to end up where it is that you want to end up. And that's happening because your limiting beliefs that lie within you are literally facing you in reality. And so I do definitely feel like you're headed in the right direction because in your immediate future, you have the energy is gaining momentum to the Four of Coins. This Four of Coins being stability, in some way, shape, or form. It could be stability in relationships, stability in a career, in a financial situation, or maybe just in your life in general. I feel like you've been stuck in this Nine of Swords energy for so long, you would kill for this Four of Pentacles energy. But I also feel like this going through this Nine of Swords energy that you're going through is getting you to this Four of Pentacles energy. So I feel like there's more happening here than you might realize. So let's start, Virgo, by looking at your recent past, clarifying the Moon with don't let your past hold you back. Recent past for Virgo, please. Recent past for Virgo, please. One more. This is for Virgo's recent past. Recent past for Virgo, Seven of Wands, Five of Cups in reverse. Okay. I feel, Virgo, like you're a very determined person. It's not that you don't like you intend to get to where you're trying to go. Like I feel like you have this level of determination. You're willing to do what it takes to get there. But I also feel like that determination has kind of been, it's shrank a little bit because of the amount of disappointment that you faced. So it's not that you're not determined and that you're not trying to trust yourself in your path. It's that I feel like your outside experiences have heavily impacted that determination, or that like oomph that I feel like you usually have, which has kind of kept you stuck, because I feel like it's like maybe you went into a situation, feeling very confident in it, confident in yourself, confident in the outcome. And then you were kind of just left with quite a bit of disappointment that I feel like you're like, well, like what's the point of it even trying? Or if I gave it my all and it didn't work out, in that situation, who's to say it's actually going to work out in another situation? Like it's kind of caused you to doubt yourself and your path a little bit more, which makes plenty of sense. But I feel like there's some good that's going to come from this. So recent past for Virgo. Recent past for Virgo, please. Page of Cups in reverse, Lovers in reverse. Oh, okay. And then there's that Ten of Pentacles. So this Ten of Pentacles is what it is that this is talking about. This is long-term abundance, and it's abundance that very much aligns with you. But in your recent past, the universe is saying that you weren't listening to yourself, in the sense that you were investing in situations that didn't align with your worth. Maybe you were investing in them out of the hope that they would eventually become what it is that you were deserving of, or that eventually, the situation would improve, or maybe you were investing in it because you thought that that's as much as as good as it was going to get for you, right? Sometimes we have to look at the realization that we accept what we think we deserve. And if we think that what we deserve is bare minimum love or a certain financial situation, we will then accept that as that has to be the only option for us. Now, I don't necessarily know what this is in regard to. This could be a love situation. It could be about your, again, financial situation, career path. Take it as it resonates, because though one situation might come through, it could also apply to many different situations in your life. It could kind of apply to your life across the board. So, but take it as it resonates. But I do feel like your higher self and the universe was trying to send you messages in your recent past that said, hey, Virgo, you deserve better. But I feel like you weren't listening to those messages. Like it's like you were allowing kind of the fear to override you, which is absolutely understandable. But I also feel, I don't know, I feel like there's more here. So let's get more for Virgo's recent past. More for Virgo's recent past, please. One more. Recent past for Virgo. Five of Swords in reverse with the Five of Cups in reverse. As you're working through this disappointment that I feel like you have, sadness, just this emotional energy. Well, granted, this is your recent past, but I feel like this is still kind of affecting your current energy. But as you work through this, try to tap in as much as you can to the belief that everything is happening for you, not to you. Because sometimes when things don't necessarily work out the way that we expected them to go, we can start to believe that they're not going to work out for us at all. And so I think that is a little bit of what you're dealing with here. Like, it's almost like you're believing that the worst case scenario is the reality. So like if you've lost a relationship, you're believing that you're going to be alone forever, or you're never going to love someone that much or feel as loved as that, or you're never going to be happy again, or whatever the case is. And there's a need to remember that nothing that is meant for you, including your happiness and your well-being, will ever pass you. Now, sometimes situations can leave our life because there are certain, lessons we need to learn and energies that we need to tap into in order to be ready for that situation to appear in our life again. But we never want to hold out hope that something that is going to come back is going to make us happy. We want to believe that our happiness exists in the future, whatever that looks like. Believe your happiness exists in the present, and then you will create it in the future. But still leaning on the fact that, just because something has gone does not mean that you will never be able to experience something as good as that again. Because again, nothing that is, meant for you will ever pass you. Current energy for Virgo, clarifying your commitment is being tested with the 9 of Swords. Current energy for Virgo, please. One more. Current energy for Virgo. Current energy for Virgo. Chariot, Justice in reverse. Okay, hang on. I want a little bit more here. More on this message. Okay. So I was trying to figure out if this was talking about moving forward. It's moving forward from your past, because you're having a hard time moving forward from your past because you feel like there was an injustice that happened. And there very well could have been. I'm not saying there wasn't. But the injustice that happened, every injustice is always balanced out. I'm going to quote a Taylor Swift song, which I know is kind of cheesy, but it's a lyric that I've actually started to kind of apply in my life, which is that our enemies will defeat themselves before we get the chance to swing. And not necessarily saying that what happened in your past is like something to do with like an enemy or anything like that, but why I'm bringing that up and how I feel like it applies to this reading is understanding that karma always balances itself out. When something is done to you that is wrong, that will always be corrected in this universe. Karma, the reason it exists is because it maintains a balance, right? But we have to understand that sometimes it's not going to happen immediately and it's not going to happen the way that we expect it to. And sometimes the best way to move on and to move forward into better days is to start figuring out how to live your best life. And I feel like that's where there's like this energy of you kind of being stuck in your past a little bit, maybe not because you want to be, but because you're having a hard time moving forward since you do feel such a deep injustice. But in order to balance out that justice and to get what it is that you deserve, you have to take matters into your own hands and figure out what you can do to create your best life without your past being a part of it. And I feel like there's kind of that energy of maybe doubting a little bit that anything is ever going to be better, that's ever going to take place in your life, that's going to be better, because you're dealing with a very triggering energy right now. And that trigger is going to try to keep you stuck in looking at the lens of worst case scenario, your fear, your doubt, your insecurity. And the only way to move forward from that is taking your power back and figuring out what it is you can control. Because the more that you focus on what you can control, the more your life will start to improve, and you'll start to align more with situations that align with your worth. There's this fly. Current energy for Virgo that won't leave me alone. Current energy for Virgo. That's what I get for leaving the door open for the dogs this morning. Current energy for Virgo. See, yeah, because there's the Wheel of Fortune with the King of Pentacles, and this is you. And then you have the Justice upright now. Now, this King of Pentacles is you, whether you're male or female. It's just earth sign energy. Male earth sign, like not male, but the masculine earth sign energy. But we all have female and masculine energies within us. So the wheel is trying to turn in your favor. This justice is trying to happen. But I do feel like you're holding yourself back by staying so attached to the past. And sometimes that's really hard because sometimes we believe that our happiness exists in the past, or that if we don't get justice from the past, we're never going to be happy. But sometimes it's backwards, and it's the justice will come, but we have to move on from, we have to not need the justice to come in order to receive it. Which is usually how it goes. You have to be able to detach from the situation, essentially get to a place of being indifferent, and then that justice will come. So I do see that in your current energy, Virgo, the wheel is trying to turn in your favor. This justice and what you're deserving of is trying to make its way to you. But you're needing to understand that you got to let go a little bit and allow the universe to have a little bit more breathing room to work so that you can fully step into your power here. Current energy for Virgo. Current energy for Virgo, please. Current energy for Virgo, please. There it is. So it's your past that's blocking you. King of Pentacles, Six of Cups. Yeah, it's the past that's blocking you. But what about your past, Virgo? It could be limiting beliefs that you've acquired from your past, the belief that your happiness exists in your past, that you're never going to be happy again. What is this message talking about for Virgo? Yeah, it's your expectations. Okay, because then there's the sun. It's your expectations of how things should go so that you can receive the happiness and the fulfillment that you're ultimately wanting. Oftentimes when we narrow our perception, which is really easy to do because we're human beings having human experiences, right? When you narrow your perception to looking at a situation through the lens of that fear, what we can say is if things don't work out this specific way, if it doesn't work out with this specific person or this specific career path, or if I don't get this specific amount of money, or whatever the case is, it's if the things don't work out this specific way, then I'm never going to be happy, or I'm never going to feel that that kind of love again, or I'm never going to have what it is that I deserve. And when we do that, we then set ourselves up for disappointment when things don't work out exactly like we expect, even though they're working out in a way that is probably way better than anything you can imagine. So sometimes we have to lean on that faith in the universe more and more in times where it feels harder and harder to do so. And that's where you have your commitment is being tested. Again, don't look at it as a commitment, or don't look at it as a test. Try to look at it as this is part of the process to creating the life of your dreams, and the universe has your back right now. The universe is supporting you. The universe is guiding you. The universe is trying to get you to that next level. And all you need to do is let go of the wheel and allow changes to take place that need to change. Leave that relationship that doesn't serve you. Walk away from this cycle of disappointment where you're hoping for things to change, but experiencing them never changing. Choose to leave a 9-to-5 job that drains your energy so that you can pursue a path that brings you fulfillment. Make those decisions for yourself in a way that will empower you, because then when you start to make those decisions that are difficult to make, they will always turn out better for you, and that faith that you use to tap into that decision will then grow stronger, and it will make the next time you have to make a decision between fear and faith even easier. So I do feel like right now is really needing to let go of your expectations of how you think things should go, and believe as much as you can in the fact that as long as you're doing the healing work, as long as you are doing the work of reframing your perception of your reality, taking a look at your life, doing inventory on how you've played a role in your own suffering, doing the shadow work, so on and so forth, as long as you're doing that stuff, the universe is working in your favor and things will work out. If you're avoiding the healing, then that's when you will face more karmic situations, but those karmic situations are just trying to get you to do the healing. So if you do the healing, focus on the inner work, focus on how you can take control over your own life, where you have power, and versus where you've given your power away, taking that power back, focus on the stuff that isn't easy, and you will watch your life change for the better. Remember, as above, so below, as within, so without. Your inner world and your inner environment will always be reflected in your outer world, but you have to do the inner work in order to receive that. So that's where you're at in your current energy. What does Virgo need to know regarding their immediate future? Clarifying the energy is gaining momentum with the Four of Pentacles. Immediate future for Virgo, please. Immediate future for Virgo, please. Immediate, ooh. Okay. Okay. See, it's the same cards coming out again, but it's different this time. The message is different because it's saying the more you hold on to your past, the more you're going to get stuck in this energy of being unfulfilled. Because this King of Pentacles in reverse can be an energy of being too stuck on the circumstance, meaning that we believe that a certain circumstance has to take place or we're never going to be happy. It can kind of be like being a little bit too materialistic too. So maybe thinking that a certain level of success or a certain level of money is going to make you happy. Not that, stability and financial freedom isn't, definitely a part of your fulfillment, but that fulfillment is going to start within. Nothing outside of you is going to make you happy. There's no relationship that's going to bring you fulfillment. There's no financial situation that's going to bring you fulfillment. You have to do that inner work, find that fulfillment within, and it will be reflected outwardly. But there is this level of needing to let go of the past and of situations in the past that you believe has maybe is where your happiness exists. I feel like you believe your happiness exists in the past, or that what you've already experienced the most fulfillment you ever will. And I don't believe in any way, shape, or form that that's true. I think that because you have your energy is gaining momentum to the Four of Pentacles. So I believe that things are trying to improve. The wheel is trying to turn in your favor. The justice is trying to come through. But your decision making has to align with unlimiting beliefs as opposed to limiting ones, meaning the belief that the universe has your back and will always support you and always help you land on your feet, even in situations where it feels like it's impossible. There are always solutions out there. There are always ways to look at our troubles and our negativity with that solution positive oriented mindset, and to take steps in the direction of a better life. There's always ways to do that. Sometimes we don't know how, and we've got to ask for guidance on how to do that and believe that that guidance will come. But there are always solutions for things getting better and things improving and things, you attracting the life that you want. So I feel like this is a lot of don't just hope that things get better. Start making the changes that you need to make for things to get better. That makes sense. Immediate future for Virgo. And if you feel like you're doing everything you know how to do right now, then that's totally fine. Just consider this a confirmation that you're doing what you need to do. Immediate future for Virgo, clarifying the energy is gaining momentum with the Four of Pentacles. Immediate future for Virgo. So this is completing a cycle of some inner child energy here. Okay, I want more on that. Clarifying this Page of Wands and Virgo's immediate future. Page of Wands. Ooh, there's the Nine of Swords. That just kind of came out in the Four of Wands in reverse. But hang on, I want to... Clarifying this Page of Wands and Virgo's immediate future. I think I already know. Yeah, okay, there's that moon. So that's what it is. This fear... Okay, what came through when I was shuffling was what you've experienced is not as good as it can get. But your fear, you look at your situation and at your life through the lens of this moon, of this fear, right? This illusion of fear. Because you've experienced a lot of pain and a lot of suffering in your life. So of course you're going to fear that that's going to repeat itself in your life. When you can learn that a lot of the times that suffering and the pain that we go through is there to teach us something, and you focus more on learning the lesson behind the situation, you then learn that once you learn the lesson and close the cycle, that situation's not going to repeat itself. So you no longer have to fear it because you've healed it. So oftentimes when we look at our life through the lens of that fear and that insecurity of our past, it's because we haven't yet healed the situation that is making us fear the worst case scenario in the first place. So if you experienced a lot of instability as a kid, like growing up, or you were in a household where you weren't really treated all that well, or it could be anything, like whatever the case is about, about your inner child energy, um, the fear that you're experiencing is directly correlated to something that you learned when you were growing up. So for instance, when like an example could be you get out of a relationship, like someone breaks up with you, and you are left feeling devastated because you feel like you don't understand what you did wrong. You start to feel like take on, this feeling of like you're going to be alone forever because everybody always leaves you and you're not good enough for love and all of this stuff. And then you look back and you see that you had a parent abandon you as a kid. That situation is directly aligning with that core wound that exists. Now, I'm not saying that is the situation that is coming through. It could be, but that you've got to take a look at like, okay, why is this situation affecting me so much? What am I so afraid of? And where does that stem from? What lesson am I needing to learn? What am I needing to bring through in order to close out this cycle so that I don't repeat it, so that I don't fear it? Because I do like everything that's coming through is saying this wheel is trying to turn in your favor. The justice that you're wanting is really trying to come through, but you've got to kind of be willing to do that work too, to figure out how you're holding yourself back, which is hard. It's hard to do that work. It's hard to take that kind of look in the mirror. Immediate future for Virgo, please. Immediate future for Virgo, please. Immediate future for Virgo. Okay. 2 of Swords in reverse, Ace of Wands, 5 of Wands in reverse. And there's the 8 of Swords in reverse. Okay. Okay, hang on. Because there's the Justice, and then there's that Hierophant in reverse. The Justice can't come until the lesson is learned. But the lesson is only going to be learned as you move forward. And right now you've been stuck in this stagnant energy. So your immediate future is all about moving forward. Is no longer allowing what has happened to dictate your belief of what will happen. And that's hard. It's hard to do. But as you move forward, the healing will come. I feel like you're waiting on the healing to move forward, but there's a need to just for me, when I'm going through a really hard time and I try to focus on what it is I need to control, I always go back to my physical health. Am I eating well? Am I working out? Am I moving my body for at least 30 minutes a day via yoga, stretching, running, walking, working out, whatever the case is? And that, like, when I get a couple of weeks into that, I already start feeling better. And then my mental health gets better. And so when you're going through a tough time and you feel very stuck and stagnant and you're having a hard time moving forward, take a step back and look at what it is that you can control and start trying to shift your control from, because when we're struggling and we feel very afraid and we're in the depths of that unknown, it can feel like we have no control. And so that's what gets really scary is, sure, you don't have control, but you can give that over to the universe, but then your fear is still going to exist there. So the more you can focus on what you can control, the more that things will start to improve for you in a mental capacity. And then you can start kind of trying to look at things from a bigger perspective, because it's hard to do the healing when you're in the thick of the pain, right? So trying to understand that the universe has your back, everything is working out for you, it's not happening to you, no matter how intense it feels right now. And you really will the universe is trying to bring you your justice. You just have to be open to seeing things from a different perspective. And maybe, it's like that saying, like, if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always gotten. Like, if you want things to change, if you want your life to move forward, start looking at how you can do that. The first thing that's going to come to your mind when you start to look at the changes that you want to make is all of the excuses. I don't have time. I don't have money. I don't have whatever the case is. The excuses are going to be the absolute first thing that is going to take over whenever you try to better yourself. And those excuses, though they probably seem very real, like not saying they're not valid, that you feel the way they are, those, at the end of the day, they're always solutions. So looking at your reality with a solution-based mindset, asking for guidance, setting the intention, I want to start to make my mental health a priority. How do I need to do that? Universe, send me guidance on how I can do that. I want to make my physical health a priority. Universe, send me guidance on how I can do that. And then be open to that guidance. It might come in the form of a conversation with someone. It might come from an ad online. It might come from a random YouTube video that pops up. Try to open yourself up to the guidance and it will appear. All right, Virgo, we're going to hop on over to the extended. It's going to be messages from your higher self, which is different than what I usually do. So I'm excited. They've gone well so far. So, but before I hop on over, this is the last week I'm going to be talking about this dang workshop, but it is the last week to register for the workshop, the summer workshop series, talking all about how to take your power back, step fully into your power, and create the life of your dreams. The first session is this Friday, June 30th. Any information on that is in the description box of the video that I've linked below. If you have any questions on it, feel free to reach out to me or the presenter of the workshop. I'm going to be joining as a participant because I feel like there is a lot of good stuff I'm going to get out of that. And it's why I've been sharing it so much with you guys. So I do hope that this reading has resonated with you, Virgo, in a way that you're needing today. And as always, I wish you nothing but love and healing on your journey moving forward. All right, bye, Virgo.